Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and we've got a new vehicle on the channel today. I think this is YouTube's favorite RC car. If you watch Mark Santa Maria, great channel by the way, I think this is his favorite basher. If you watch Outsourced RC, I think he considers this his favorite RC car. And what is this? Well, it's the E-Revo 2.0 from Traxxas, a 1/8 scale truggy. I have never owned an E-Revo, always wanted one, was kind of nervous about picking one of these up because I've heard a lot of things about these things breaking, not being particularly durable, all that kind of stuff, you know, like rod ends breaking, the shocks overextending, you need all these modifications. I don't know. I've driven the E-Revo 2.0. It actually drove pretty well. I also have an Arma Creighton and a Team Corrali Punisher, so I've got kind of the two major competitors to this vehicle. But I thought I'd pick one of these up. My local hobby shop was having a sale. Got one of these for a pretty good price. And was like, well, okay, let's check this thing out. So the E-Revo 2.0, obviously an update to the original E-Revo, which is an electric version of the original Revo, which is a nitro-powered, I don't know, 3.3 sized motor monster truck. I'm not really sure. I'm not an E-Revo expert, so I thought I would pick one of these up because I am curious about this, find out if everything people say is true about this, and kind of get my own opinions because I like to try things out for myself, do my best to really understand an RC car before I form an opinion and not just, you know, sort of say the same things everyone else tells me. So quick look at this vehicle. I think it came out about 3 years ago, I want to say. So they did make some updates, obviously, over the original 1.0, which was considered, I guess, fast, handled reasonably well, but was not particularly durable. So they do have what they call max duty ring and pinion sets. So on the differentials, front and rear, they got, I guess, updated bulkheads. It looks like the diffs kind of come out from the bottom like a max. All steel 5mm motor plate. I'm sorry, the motor plate's aluminum, but it looks like a steel transmission here, X-Max style. So I think this came out after the X-Max, before the Max, though, if I remember things correctly. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. They did update the arms. They do have steel CVDs, I guess they call them. They're actually CVAs, but whatever. Steel CV drive shafts, which the Max does not have. This is obviously 6S capable, has a lot more power than the Max. A little bit larger as well, longer wheelbase, a lot wider actually. So yeah, this will be interesting. New carriers, the torque biasing center drive, which is really just Traxxas speak for a center differential. It looks like it does not have any sort of cush drive, so yeah, I think the Max came after this. The Max introduced the cush drive, which is now also used. Is that also used on the Haas? I can't remember. GTR shocks, aluminum, plastic chassis, as Traxxas is well known for, and it is powered by the VXL 6S ESC. Obviously comes with a TQI radio. I do recommend getting the Traxxas link, which they sort of advertise there. That does make life a little bit easier for all the things you want to do. It does come in 4 different colors. Apologies, one of my arms is kind of screwed up. I think I hurt my UCL. I don't know if we can see all this. Some different speeds. They claim 70 miles per hour plus. Seems kind of ridiculous. Traxxas is well known for, you know, I think, in my opinion, exaggerating the top speeds on these things a little bit. Looks like self-riding here on the bottom. I wish this box was self-riding because my arm hurts too much to flip this thing over. So the box is not self-riding, but the car is. Comes with 2 servos for steering. Again, kind of a signature E-Revo thing, as well as the lay-down shocks, which they have, I guess, litigated in the past. The quick-released body, which, you know, all the new RC cars from Arma are coming with. And then I don't know what the heck that is. It looks like the latches or something. So, yeah, let's open this thing up. I'm going to have to do this one-handed, and we'll take a look inside. Alrighty, here is the E-Revo 2.0. As you can see, I got the blue, black, and white edition. I thought that looked the best. Not a big fan of the pink and purple. Not a big fan of orange in general. And then the other color was the green and blue, which actually looks pretty good, but I already have a Haas in that color, so I thought I would pick up the blue and black one. Looks pretty nice in person. Super low profile, truggy style body, or stadium truck, I guess, with the wing, and then the quick release body. Of course, we can take that thing off. So other stuff that comes in the box: manual, stickers, some sort of plastic wheel wrench, some sort of plastic, I don't know, shock tool or something, a couple Allen keys, and some stickers. The long used TQI radio. I actually have a different TQI radio that I use for all my Traxxas vehicles. You can actually bind up a bunch of vehicles to the same radio, so I'll be using my other TQI radio. But yeah, decent radio overall. Nice foam grip. Does a lot of programming adjustments, but like I mentioned, worth it to get the link just for a lot more ease of control of the adjustments. Does have a couple knobs, steering trim, and a multifunction knob. I assume this has the Traxxas stability control, or TSM, and then a couple of buttons up here for programming, as well as using for the self-riding feature, which I do not recommend. Self-riding means self-exploding, in my opinion, of the transmission. So huge tires. Looking at one of these up close, honestly, I've never really looked at an RC, I'm sorry, an E-Revo 2.0 before, so I am just kind of sharing my thoughts. Dual battery trays, of course. I think you need fairly skinny 3S batteries, so you're going to need 3S packs that I think are about the size of a 2S pack to fit. I do have a couple hard case batteries that I will use. Dual plugs, obviously Traxxas ID plugs, a long can motor. Not sure what the specs are. Looks like probably a 40 by, I want to say 78, I would guess. Not sure offhand. Or is that a 30? This might be a 36. Looks a little small. I don't know. I've been driving large scale vehicles recently, but looks a little small. VXL 6S ESC. Of course, the lay down shocks here, all aluminum, front and back. They are horizontally mounted with these rocker arms, or whatever you call them, these rocker connectors there. That is supposed to give you a little bit lower center of gravity, a little bit better handling, not roll as much. In my opinion, and in my experience, this does drive pretty darn well. Handles pretty well. The tires I don't find particularly great on dirt, like a loose dirt. To me, they're more of like an all-terrain type tire, which means they basically don't do anything very well. But we'll try them out again. Yeah, maybe with the recent rains and wet dirt, moist dirt, it'll actually work a little bit better. Interesting little air intakes here right behind the servos. I guess those are real air intakes and go into the battery compartment so they can cool down your battery, because this thing goes so fast your batteries are going to get hot. Fins on the fins on the motor, but no heat sink or fan. Fan on the ESC, of course. Suspension feels pretty good. In my experience, I think this does drive pretty darn well. Just kind of looking at these little push rods here for the suspension. So I think they did update the shock rod ends at some point. Not totally sure. Now these look pretty original. Maybe they did not. I'm not sure. Steel CVDs. The arms are quite skeleton. They should provide a good amount of flex. Does have the pivot ball suspension with these little rubber, I don't know, boots or whatever you want to call them to kind of cover the holes there. Pretty large diameter bearings here on the steering knuckles. Servo should be pretty good. I mean, it's got the dual, I think, 2075s. Yeah, 2075 plastic geared servos. Bottom, as you can see, is pretty skinny except for the battery trays down there. But even there on the bottom, the skid plates and stuff are very skinny. So this thing actually is fairly light. I mean, I can pick this thing up one-handed. Not really a problem. Much lighter than, say, a Creighton or even a Punisher or Kronos. Oh, interesting little I guess this is a metal motor plate with a bit of heat sink fins on this. So finned motor plate mount here. So that is interesting. So should provide a little bit additional cooling. Even exit vents here on the back for the battery tray. That is interesting. Never noticed that before. Okay, these rocker arms are plastic mounted. They are ball bearing mounted. Yeah, I've always been kind of a bit of a durability concern on these things, especially since they stick out in the front there. I don't know, we'll see. Bumper is very, very minimal. Sort of a truggy style bumper. I believe this is the other weak point, this little plastic brace here in the back, so I might need to pick up an aluminum one of these. I would imagine under flex this thing might break. I think also people tend to break the, I don't know if it's the rod ends or the shocks, but just from overextension. So I think they actually get limiting straps. I'm not a big fan of limiting straps in general, so we'll see how that goes. This wing mount seems a little thin. That bumper is not going to really do anything. The wing's pretty much going to take the brunt of that impact, so we'll see if the wing survives. I haven't heard of the wing being a problem. Maybe it is. I don't know. It does not look super durable, but you know, a lot of people break wings on their Armors and I never do, so it may be more due to driving than actual weakness in the vehicle. Where is the receiver box? Receiver box looks like it's, oh, right here, sorry. Waterproof receiver box, Traxxas patented thing. Wires kind of get tucked underneath here, so a little bit of wiring management. Kind of nice thing about this, no exposed drive shafts and stuff or things that get cut. All the electronics are on top, so I think they're fairly easy to get to. This is a pretty interesting design. I mean, I've never seen an RC car like this. The batteries are dual batteries mounted really low below the motor and ESC, so pretty much at the lowest point in the vehicle is going to be your batteries, even below the drive shaft and stuff like that. So another hallmark of the E-Revo. I mean, it's got kind of this symmetrical design, lay down shocks, dual servos, dual batteries, and everything kind of like way down low, and then actually your motor and EC up top. So very low slung type vehicle. Drives pretty well in my opinion, but we're gonna have to take this out, see for ourselves, see how durable this thing is. Nice aluminum axles and hexes, so that's a nice upgrade from the Max. So again, I think this sells for $650 at the time of this video, if I'm not mistaken. So a little bit pricey, although the Armas are, you know, starting to get up there. Traxxas has always generally had a bit of a price premium over Arma. It still does, but the difference is a lot less than it used to be. It used to be more like a $150 difference, but now it's probably closer to like a $75 difference, or maybe even a $50 difference. I forget what the Kraton sells for now. But yeah, quick unboxing of the E-Revo 2.0. Excited to take this thing out, drive it, bash it, test it, and I will share my thoughts. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon. Take care.